Lisa Jason is a data analyst in the Justice Department for 6 years in Washington. One morning her sidekick Mike tells her that a mob boss has died in Jersey in his sleep, just like the tycoon publisher last year. Both men died in their sleep. No connection at all. While they deep in discussing, their boss Jeff cut in and said, "Drop it and go for something else." First victim: Mr. Bernard Middleton. Mrs. Margaret Middleton, the wife of the wealthy publisher Bernard Middleton, arrived home after 2 days out of town to find out her husband was dead. Lois Middleton, Bernard's sister, met her at the airport and asked if she wanted her to accompany her during the morning, but Margaret refused. Margaret hurried to the apartment and saw the whiskey decanter, which she put poison and mix it with whiskey to kill her husband, on the table where she left the previous day. With relief, she quickly took it to the bathroom and emptied the poisoned whiskey into the sink. The evidence was gone, and she lay on the bed with tears of joy in accomplishing another successful mission. Second victim: Mr. Nick Hansen. Margaret has changed her appearance again. This time the short blonde hair is now curly red hair, and the name is Julia Hansen, wife of the wealthy toy manufacturer Nick Hansen. She visited her husband's office, showing off her sexy moves and her expensive dress, seducing her old husband and making him feel young again. She told her husband she will be out of town for a few days and will be back. After visiting her husband, she goes to her bank to access her safe deposit box. Alone in a private room, she takes a bottle of brandy from her handbag. From the box, she removes a small brown case. The case contains a syringe with a very long needle, and a small vial of clear liquid. She fills the syringe from the vial, and injects the liquid through the cork into the brandy bottle. That night, as she packs for a 3-day trip out of town, Nick asks why they ran out of brandy so fast. "There is a fresh bottle in the cabinet," she says. He finds it, and replies, "Right again, honey." The next day Nick Hansen was found dead in his sleep. A day later he was buried. When Julia Hansen, the widow, arrived at the lawyer's office, Nick's sister Emily is threatening to contest Nick's will. Julia tells her she has no one to blame but herself for being cut from it for fighting against her. Julia offers $500,000 to Emily as gift, and she accepts, and the matter is closed. Back at Washington office, Lisa asks about the death from Undine's curse. Michael tells it was a toy manufacturer in Dallas. Both he and the publisher were wealthy, middle-aged, and both had married younger women. Lisa checks the report and finds out both women are in their late 20s and married for a couple of months only. Lisa asks Michael to round up information and pictures of their wives. Michael has found remarkably few photos of the wives and made slides for Lisa, and she takes them home, along with a slide projector. She studies their faces and their bodies as they're projected onto her living room wall. And in all of them, the women seem to be deliberately turning away from the camera. She looks in her bathroom mirror, and experiments with her own hair and stance, noting how even small changes can make a significant difference in a woman's overall appearance. Meanwhile, Maureen Ryan, former Julia Hansen, has changed her appearance. Her hair is now longer brown and start wearing suits in search for her next victim. Maureen is studying photos of rare coins, an old video of a Coast Salish, Native American, ritual. Her objective soon becomes clear. These are all interests and hobbies of Bill Hastings, chairman of the Native American Museum Board, who is going to become her next victim. Maureen makes her move by approaching Irene, a member of the museum board, and offers to donate $1 million to the museum in exchange for a seat on the board of directors. Irene primly tells her that those seats are not for sale. Maureen said, "Surely Mr. Hastings will appreciate my intentions," and leaves, feeling unease. However, Mr. Hastings accepts her, falling into Maureen's charms. In the next board of directors meeting, Bill Hastings tells Maureen that as their newest board member, they want to hear her views. She impresses Bill and he immediately falls for it. Her hard work studying Mr. Bill Hastings paid off very well by winning the next victim's heart. Bill and Maureen have been seeing each other for a while, going out for dinner. Long walks and quiet discussions over afternoon tea or evening coffee. Maureen asked why he hasn't married. Bill replied he has been so occupied in his job and did not find the right partner. Bill continues that, now she has come into his life, he is seriously thinking about it, and if she agrees he would like to spend the rest of his life with her. Maureen's plan worked out perfectly. She agrees to marry him. A month later, they got married and Maureen Ryan become Mrs. Hastings. One day, he takes her on a ferry ride and a long drive to his family's cabin in the woods. It is large, elegant, peaceful, and inviting. He tells her he has always meant to live here someday. Maureen asks, why don't you? And Bill cut her off and said, why don't we live here? During the passionate lovemaking that follows, Maureen notices a medallion that Bill wears on a chain around his neck. It's a medical alert, he tells her, I'm allergic to penicillin. She lets out a low laugh, and kisses him lustily. Meanwhile in Washington Justice Department, after reviewing the slides, Lisa tries to convince her boss Jeff, that it's the same woman killing these rich men. Jeff is not convinced by Lisa's evidence and theory. He argues that the Dallas woman is slimmer, younger. Lisa counters that it's just makeup, attitude, posture. He tells her that he just wants her to be happy, she isn't happy, and she deserves to be happy. Lisa, she pleads, make me happy. After a long silence, he finally gives her permission to go after her mysterious woman. Lisa visits the sisters of the first two victims. She interviews Louis Middleton, Bernard Middleton's sister first, who still believes Margaret is the genuine article, and is very put off by Lisa's theories and manner. Lisa gives up on her and runs off to find the second victim's sister Emily Hansen. She sees Emily, sister of Nick Hansen next, who is lying on a tanning bed in an expensive salon. Emily says she also suspected, but since Nick was dead, and nothing could bring him back, she decided to avoid the scandal and publicity of accusing her sister-in-law of murder. Lisa suggests rather pointedly that she might have been influenced by the $500,000 gift as well. Emily sits up, takes off her protective glasses, gives Lisa a long look, and says sweetly, "You're looking a little peaked." In Seattle, Lisa quickly finds Maureen and follows her around, observing her, for several days. She finds out she is now married to Bill Hastings, chairman of the Native American Museum Board. Posing as a reporter from the Post-Intelligencer, she goes to the museum and talks to Irene, trying to get whatever information they have on her. Irene admits to not knowing much, and before Lisa can stop her, she calls Maureen's office to see if she can come talk to Lisa herself. Bill responds instead, says Maureen's not in today and asks if he can help. He catches Lisa in her lie about being from the Post-Intelligencer, and she explains sheepishly that she is a freelance writer, doing an article on powerful women on spec. Instead of being angry, he is sympathetic, admitting that he never had to prove himself that way. He asks where she is staying, and she replies, "At the Hilton." He warns that his wife is very private, but promises to ask her to contact Lisa there. Lisa thanks him, and starts to leave, then pauses, undecided, still looking at him. Thinking whether to tell him the truth before Maureen kills him. He looks back at her, a bit surprised, and asks if there's anything else. "No, I guess not," she says, hoping she will catch her before she attempts to murder him. Maureen has gone to the doctor for a physical. She tells him she has a case of recurring tonsillitis, and what with the Seattle weather. He grabs his prescription pad and asks what antibiotic usually works for her. "Penicillin," she replies. Lisa goes to the Seattle Police Department, and puts her evidence in front of Detective Ricci. He refuses to cooperate with her, and tells her that not enough evidence and he will not investigate further. Lisa tells him as she leaves, "I know I'm right and you will regret it." Later, Bill excitedly tells Maureen about the charming young woman he met and her interest in Maureen. Though uneasy, Maureen hides it and rushes to the Seattle Hilton to investigate, only to discover the woman has moved to the inn at the Market. Hurrying over to Market Inn, Maureen storms in and quickly back out. Across the street, Lisa watches from her parked car. Visibly angry, Maureen slams her car door, trapping part of her coat. She yanks it free in a fury, her usual composure unraveling. Overwhelmed, she finally screams in frustration and slams her forehead against the steering wheel. Afterward, calmer, she reaches into the glove compartment and takes out several travel brochures. Leafing through them, she settles on the one for Hawaii, and drives away. Next day, at the cabin, Maureen is in the bathroom opening a new tube of toothpaste. She squeezes a dollop onto the back of a hand mirror and empties one of the penicillin capsules onto it. As she is mixing the two substances, Bill enters, downstairs, and calls to her. She hastily finishes, stuffs as much of the blended paste back into the tube as she can, and puts the tube back in the drawer. Lisa is back in Detective Ricci's office. She is angry, agitated. Where did they find him? Look, he died of a heart attack. Boom, just like everybody else. She's left town, hasn't she, she says, and you have no idea where she's gone. You're scared shitless, Ricci, they're going to find out about me, and why you didn't check it out when you had the chance. Lisa returns to Washington, and resigns from her job. Jeff tries to talk her out of it. She tells him that she was in the same room with the victim 4 feet away. I should have told him and he would still be alive. I didn't give him a chance. As she's walking out of Jeff's office, Michael calls her over. He's already traced Maureen's escape route. Lisa gives up her apartment, and sells her belongings. Jeff visits her the night before she leaves for Hawaii. As a parting gift he hands her an airline ticket. I've already got my ticket, she says. This is a ticket back to Washington, he tells her. She smiles and replies, I'll be back with a 10. Lisa arrives in Hawaii and moves to her hotel and ensure her identity is sealed. She poses as Jessica Bates. She hires a private investigator, Mr. Yanchi, to track Maureen. When Yanchi demands more money, Lisa forces him to reveal what he was paid for. Maureen has reinvented herself as Jennifer Baxter. Tanned, athletic, and stylish, favoring vibrant Hawaiian prints and sporty attire. Maureen joins a scuba class at her hotel. During a session, Lisa sees Maureen and quickly partners with her as Jessica Bates, and Maureen introduces herself as Jennifer Baxter. They bond well during the class and Jennifer invites Lisa to her hotel room for a drink. Lisa saw a couple of photos of a man on the coffee table in Jennifer's room. She asked if he was her boyfriend or husband. Jennifer said it's James Yeti, a local businessman. Lisa knew straight away that James was going to be her next victim. Her target is James Yeti, a handsome luxury hotel tycoon. Jennifer extends an invitation at a party at James's house. Lisa excuses herself that she has no dress for a party. However, Jennifer loans her a dress and takes her to the hairdresser. At the party, Lisa notices James is a challenge for Jennifer, who delays intimacy to maintain control over him. Lisa and Jennifer spend time together, hiking and picnicking. During a visit to a fish market, Mr. Yanchi confronts Lisa again. Feigning a federal investigation, Lisa sends him away while avoiding Jennifer's suspicion. However, Jennifer grows wary, later calling Louise, who reveals Lisa claimed to be a federal agent. Furious, Jennifer realizes Lisa's true intentions. The tension peaks during a scuba diving on a black sand beach. Lisa's air supply cuts off, and Jennifer intervenes, sharing her regulator as they ascend. Although Jennifer insists she saved Lisa, the incident feels calculated, leaving Lisa shaken. At a picnic, Jennifer admits her wealth came from marrying and outsmarting rich men, justifying her actions by claiming she loved them all. When Jennifer urges Lisa to pursue James, Lisa hesitates but eventually accompanies him on an outing after Jennifer feigns illness. The day deepens their connection, and James's sincerity convinces Lisa to take a chance, leading to an intimate encounter. Meanwhile, Jennifer breaks into Lisa's apartment to gather information, then hires Mr. Yanchi to follow her, offering him money to confirm the affair. Jennifer subtly encourages Lisa to pursue James, but as she withdraws from an outing, James and Jennifer spend time together, culminating in a romantic connection. James went to Lisa's hotel room the next day. He gave back the top she left in his house. Then he said Lisa and him got back together and are getting married. Lisa realizes her feelings for James were genuine. However, it was a mistake while doing her job. No regrets. Jennifer and James were getting married. Lisa was invited to the wedding. Lisa found the perfect wedding gift for Jennifer: the Black Widow. After the wedding, Jennifer went to Mr. Yanchi's office, demanded for the photos. After seeing them, she forces him to inject himself with heroin, leaving him to die, with the photos on his table. She left for the mainland that night. After Mr. Yanchi's staged overdose, Lisa tries to warn James about Jennifer's past, and reveals her true identity as a federal agent. But James refuses to believe her. She told him about the poison and asked him not to touch any drinks in his house. Hawaii police begins investigating Mr. Yanchi's death, though Jennifer successfully frames Lisa for poisoning James, leveraging false evidence planted in Lisa's apartment. Lisa reveals her identity to the Hawaii police and her investigation. Hawaii police played along with Jennifer's framing of Lisa and jailed Lisa and faking James' death to catch Jennifer. Falling into the trap laid by the Hawaii police, confirming James's death, Jennifer manipulates the Cancer Foundation into transferring James's estate to her, using a Florida statute that allows her to override his charitable bequest, seizing the wealth she meticulously plotted to gain. Lisa, in jail, requests a meeting with Jennifer, who reluctantly agrees. During their conversation, Jennifer smugly implies that Lisa's obsession was with her, framing Lisa as a failed agent desperate to catch a phantom. Lisa pointedly asks Jennifer how she poisoned James, but Jennifer brushes it off, advising Lisa to know when to stop. Suddenly, Louise, Jennifer's sister-in-law, arrives with the Hawaii police detective, and Jennifer realizes she may be cornered. To her shock, James enters, alive and well. Jennifer tries to confess to poisoning him, but Lisa reveals they found the poison in time. Stunned, Jennifer attempts to kiss James's goodbye, but he rejects her. Jennifer realizes that what she has been afraid of all these times has arrived, and will be locked away for a long time. Outside the station, Lisa ignores the clamoring press, while the Hawaii police detective promises reporters a full story, leaving Lisa to slip away quietly in the background.